Hello, everyone. Thank you for being part of our fifth cycle of webinars. This month, social innovation is in the spotlight, and we are delighted to present you today the state of social innovation in Latin America. This month, we have three webinars, starting today with Latin America, next week with Canada, and then we finish some experts from Latin America and Canada speaking about social innovation. What are the challenges and the opportunities startups in that sector have? If you're new in our webinars, let me tell you a little bit about us. We are a nonprofit organization based in Toronto, Canada, helping startups to scale. And we connect the Latin American and Canadian startup ecosystems. For more information about us, please visit latamstartups.org. So also, please, if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and send us a note. Contact at latamstartups.biz or through the hashtag latamstartups. And we're happy to respond any of the questions you have. Now, let's start with this webinar. Social innovation has been growing organically in Latin America, perhaps because as a region, we see a necessity in creating companies with social components. That will impact in the benefit of some groups of our markets that have been affected by years of irregular governments, poor environment, and some other local, let's say, challenges that do have a clear support from either public or private initiatives. In Latin America, we have always had initiatives regarding social innovation. Just in the last years, since 2010, were recognized as social innovation initiatives because of the unique way of delivering products or services and the way that we're impacting positively a vulnerable community. In that year, the CLL identified more than 4,800 initiatives in social innovation in several countries in Latin America. Almost all countries in Latin America have companies showing social innovation case studies, but we have to highlight those with the most initiatives. In this case, we would like to speak today about the social innovation in Mexico, Brazil, Chile, and Colombia. Those countries are in the top of social innovation, showing good numbers of initiatives that have impacted in a unique way some of the communities. The economic sector's impact by social innovation initiatives in Latin America are essentially education, environment, energy, transportation, and health. In Latin America, it's very common to hear big corporations and even small medium business are trying to look in the ecosystem as social responsible, or RSE as the acronym in Spanish. To understand the context, you have to know that Latin America and the Caribbean is a region with great potential, but as well with big contradictions. We have one opportunity in our annual event, our first annual event, actually. Thurston Collins, CEO at Junuro in San Francisco, presented at that conference, Latin America, when opportunity meets inefficiency. And it's a long story about why this presentation was happened, but at the time we thought it was so realistic. You know, we have so many opportunities, but the level of inefficiency is really high. We're still struggling to get there, you know, to get things done. But so far, you know, it has improved since 2014 in his presentation. Much of the advancement in Latin America has reduced poverty. However, there are several groups in Latin America that are badly need support. There are innovators reducing poverty, lower maternity mortality, ensure school attendance of children for remote areas. But so many cases, ideas don't become programs or public policy. And that's the big challenge for innovators. To understand how social innovation works in Latin America, let's see in a glance what is happening country by country, and at least in four of the countries we mentioned at the beginning. So let's start with Brazil. Brazil, as you already know, is a huge market with very diverse features regarding social innovation. Is visible, especially in the main cities. This is one of the reasons why entrepreneurs in Brazil are creating solutions for their communities. Currently, it's estimated that the country has more than 400,000 nonprofit organizations, excluding those that are related with religion. Besides this amazing number, NGOs in the country, companies still face a really big challenge. 75% of these organizations are not able to pay employees, and just 6% of them have more than 10 people on staff. And those are related with corporations that do very little to support real social enterprises. The poor conditions of the financial system in the country developed in the last years a great number of startups in fintech, having Brazil the #1 country in Latin America producing fintech companies. Microloans are very popular solutions in order to give access and equal rights for communities that don't have that privilege with banks. Other social innovation companies have popped up to give services in promotion of civil rights, healthcare, social services, and others. Social innovation in Brazil is many things, but one of the meanings in social is social resistance, self-actualization of communities. Technology is impacting the country, and digital innovators are using it to create new, impactful, and meaningful projects for their communities. Now, let's go to Chile. Chile has a very interesting case study to present. In 2016, BBC named Chile as the best country in Latin America to be a social entrepreneur. The study from Thomson Reuters Foundation put Santiago as one of the 50 cities in the world with the best environment to build social and innovative companies. In Chile, companies with a component of social innovation working in sectors as environment, natural resources, education, and human capital. As per this context, the government created a platform to have citizens submitting ideas of how to create companies impacting positively those sectors. More than 200 ideas were received and in a very small period of time. The government of Chile realized that social innovation is the way to contribute to a better quality of life and manage low rates of poverty, reason why it created a fund to support social innovation entrepreneurs. Right now, the fund is opened, as you can see here in the presentation, and it's presented actually the four version of giving grants for social innovative ideas. For over $600,000, this fund is created to support projects including solutions to impact people in poverty and experience analysis that can give data to the government and in order to implement new policies. Since 2014, this fund was funded more than 200 projects in the whole country. So basically, in average, they've been probably more than 50 companies had been impacted by this fund. One initiative that is very well known in the city is the Social Innovation Institute from UDD. This is an alliance between Miguel Katz Foundation and the Development University to help the country improving social conditions. UDD released a special market study about innovation in the country. The result 57% of the companies in Chile are created with the determination to resolve a social problem. The annual revenue for this type of companies in average is $35,000, which is very low, as many of them are non-profit. This is one of the challenges that they struggle to actually get funding or to get more companies that actually put some financial support in their initiatives. The income for these companies come from sales products and services to private businesses in at 24% and 50% to the public sector. A good percent of the services or products are acquired in retail, 70%. To fund companies in social innovation, the first funding is 62% comes from friends and family, as in many other startups, and 61% from other entrepreneurs, which shows a very mature ecosystem in this country. For those interested in read more about social innovation in Chile, there is a report in English and Spanish, and this link is going to be allocated in the comment section in this video under our YouTube channel. You see here, there are some other components in this study. For example, how many actually of those organizations is legally incorporated. And you can see there is 21% of them that are not yet incorporated. So there are many challenges that they have in creating these companies, but Chile certainly is giving a great support to the social innovation entrepreneurs. Now, let's go with our next country, which is Colombia. Colombia is another country in Latin America that has seen how social innovation is impacting positively the ecosystem. Just see the example of the transformation of Medellin, being one day named the most dangerous place in the world. Today, Medellin can say this is so in the past. Now, the city has become the tech hub and the example of social transformation, not just in the country, but in the region. Since 2010, the government created funds and programs to support a social transformation based in social innovation projects. Projects as social apps from AppsCo, a platform from the government encouraging entrepreneurs to create social innovation through technology applications, gave seed funding to 11 companies in the first version. And this initiative actually gave a fund of $6,800 to each of the winners, to those each 11 companies. Additionally, these entrepreneurs had the opportunity at the time to join a delegation to Singularity University in Silicon Valley and have the opportunity to compete for $50,000 from WIDA, which is one of the biggest accelerators we have in Latin America. This is one of the initiatives, and that was kind of the first version of that initiative, but certainly AppsCo has grown much larger than just those funding and those just help. That was the beginning of AppsCo. Ruta N in Medellin is the tech hub in Colombia and has led different initiatives in social innovation as well. Several cities in Colombia have their own hubs and initiatives to create a social impact in the community, to give access to create a company, to build companies with a better value for the society. Colombia will keep improving from big to medium-sized cities, accessing vulnerable companies to have equal right to create social innovative companies. So you can see here one of the first initiatives we've seen in Colombia that actually impacted the communities were the creation of this metro cable that give access to poor communities to actually public transportation. That didn't happen before. One of the mayors of the city that actually started with this project impacted these poor communities by providing great infrastructure around them. And that impact actually created a great environment for them to keep going with initiatives like this, to how we can improve our society and how we can actually give opportunities to other people to create social enterprises in our city. That was kind of the mentality, and it keeps going in that way. Mexico is another huge market in Latin America, also face different kind of challenges, and that has motivated the creation of socially innovative entrepreneurs from public and private initiatives in Mexico. Also realize social innovation is necessary to improve quality of life. Social innovation in health, mobility, education, access to basic service, and labor inclusion. There are several incubators and accelerators in the country helping to create social innovative companies. Between them, New Venture Group, Social Lab, Make Sense, Venture Institute, Incuba Social, and Unreasonable. The government plays an important role in supporting this type of initiatives. In of them is the National Entrepreneurship Institute in Mexico provides training and funding between other social innovation between other entrepreneurs. So INADEM is one of the important guests that we are going to have at Latin Startups Conference here in Toronto. For those that want to learn more about the Mexican startup community, they are going to be here in Toronto in June 9th. There are also several events in the whole country encouraging the population to create companies with a social impact. Between them, Epicentro Festival, which is the one that you see here in the picture, Catapulta Fest, Laguna Innovadora, and FLII, Latin American Impact Investment Forum. One of the social initiatives to highlight is the one provided by CEMEX. With 12 community centers in the country, CEMEX is providing more than 200 training sessions and incubates different types of social companies. Financial inclusion is one of the biggest problems that Mexico faces. Same as Brazil, Mexico is second after Brazil in the creation of more fintech companies in the region. More than 250 micro-financial companies don't have access to banks. Mexican entrepreneurs are doing that, are doing what they can with the resources they have. 45% of the social entrepreneurs lack mentoring in the process to create companies and improve business models. In recent study, it was clear millennials are creating social innovative companies. 42% of them, of the co-founders, are between 18 and 34 years old. 43% are between 35 and 54 years old. 77% of the companies with social innovative companies has less than 5 years in the market, and just 4% of them have more than 10 years in the market. Revenue in best cases are around $250,000 annually. So in that way, they are doing let's say, a little bit better than the Chilean companies in regarding revenue. So this is an overview of the social innovation sector in Latin America. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know right now. Contact at LatamStartups.biz or through the hashtag LatamStartups. In the meantime, if you are writing questions, we would like to tell you that our next webinar, May 10th, is going to talk about social innovation in Canada. So we are going to have as well an overview of how is social innovation happening here in Canada, some numbers, what is happening in each of the cities. And then social innovation challenges and opportunities on May 17th is about how, we are going to have this conversation with some experts in Latin America and Canada, telling us how is social innovation improving, or what are the challenges, what are the opportunities really for these companies becoming social innovatives in their own ecosystems. And finally, the Latam Startups Conference will happen on June 9th. So if you still are thinking in coming to Canada, well, we're happy to pass an invitation for those that register for the conference. So you will find, how is all the ecosystem here, the second largest tech ecosystem in the world. Thank you so much for your attention. This has been the webinar of social innovation in Latin America. And thank you for coming today. We hope that we can see you next week. Thank you.